Hello, everyone. So today we just finished our group reading for the month of February, and it was such a powerful reading. There were so many profound messages that came through, very clear and precise information. I just thoroughly enjoyed this group reading with these beautiful women, such a powerful group of women. So I hope that you enjoy this reading with Jen and I, and many blessings to all of you.
Welcome to Modern Sages Podcast.
I'm Jen Gilbreth.
And I'm Candace Coons.
With over 25 years combined, we have delivered messages from beyond,
explored ancient healing wisdom, and integrated these profound teachings into our everyday life.
We are passionate about creating new ways of being human in the modern age by integrating the wisdom of the past with the present and coming into remembrance of who we truly are.
Are you ready to change your relationship to life itself? If the answer is yes, your journey begins now.
So the energies that I'm seeing that are happening right now is that there is this heart desire to create a heaven on earth for yourself. It's like, you feel that it's time to start creating a life that is more satisfying, that's more fulfilling, that's more heart-centered, and it's something that has been on your mind. It's like, I know I should be able to manifest my dreams into reality, but I don't know if I'm missing something, if there is a step that I need to take in order to be in alignment with those manifestations. But it's like all of these thoughts have been really in your field lately, where it's like, I want to create a heaven on earth for myself. I'm trying to heal from my past. I'm trying to stay centered in what my vision is. And yet in the present moment, there has been this struggle with depression. And so it kind of feels like, it's like you'll finally have this insight into what you're wanting to create for yourself and how, and you'll feel this connection to spirit. And then all of a sudden, it's like you'll have this major dip. And you're like, why can't I sustain this? Why can't I keep, sorry, Jen's like, I need to speak up here. So I'm gonna put the cards over here on the side. Why can't I keep this level of peace that I get these glimpses or moments of having? And so it's like this up and down kind of energy, right? And yet there is this knowing in your heart that life should be fulfilling, that you should be able to create this heaven on earth for yourself. So it's like, it's very confusing. And sometimes you can get down on yourself about this. So it's like, okay, am I missing a step? Is there some kind of manifestation tool that I don't have access to, that I haven't been taught yet? It's like this kind of like just doubt and wonder, right? But what the reading is also showing is that it's not that you're missing anything. You actually have a level, a perfection of understanding on spiritual principles and the power of the law of attraction. It's not like you guys don't have a background in a lot of the metaphysical studies or concepts or ideas. It really doesn't have anything to do with it. This feeling that you're having of the ups and the downs in frequency, it doesn't mean that you are missing something. Does that make sense? It doesn't mean that you have missed a step, or that you didn't do a meditation properly, or that maybe there is this deep, profound shadow work that still needs to be healed inside of you, that's keeping you from being blocked to creating the life that you want to create for yourself. It's not about that. What is happening is, when there is a shift in frequency, when you're going through a period of expansion, of spiritual expansion, when you have so much light coming into your system, it's going to purge things. It's sort of like when you go through a detox. Let's say you're doing an herbal detox or a juice detox or a health detox of some kind. And in the beginning phases of that detox, even though you're doing the right thing, you're putting all this amazing stuff in your body and you're taking all these herbs and you're doing all the right things, but you're like, gosh, why do I feel so crappy, right? When I'm putting all of this nutrition into my body and I'm doing all the right things. And the reason being is that when you're doing that in the beginning phases, those things that have been locked in the epigenetics or the DNA of your cellular system or the energetics of your chakra system or whatever, those things get purged. It's like they get pushed out. So you go through kind of like this energetic detox. And so what does it feel like when you're going through an energetic detox and you're shifting frequency? You can feel really tired. Your body can feel really tired. You can feel really achy. Like you may feel like, am I getting a flu? I have body aches. I feel so exhausted. I have headaches. You might feel nauseous at times. There's different kinds of symptoms that you can have when you're not just going through a physical detox, but when you're actually going through shifts of consciousness and energetic detoxes as well. And a lot of people are not aware of this. Some people call them ascension symptoms or different kinds of symptoms. Hi, Jennifer. I see you. Welcome. So it's something that we should all be aware of, because as multidimensional beings, you're not walking around in a meat suit. Okay. You're not just a meat suit. You're not just this body, right? And you are emotional, you're mental, you're energetic. You live on many different planes of consciousness, whether you are aware of this or not. But what is so awesome about this time that we live in and this awakening that is happening inside of us, you're becoming more and more aware of your multidimensional self. You're becoming more and more aware that you are the spirit. You're not your body. You're not your emotions. You are not your thoughts.
I love that.
You are the observer. But as you're going through that awakening, it has an effect on your nervous system. So when it's affecting your nervous system, there's going to be these shifts of frequency, and you are going to feel it on all levels. Is this too much information for everybody? Okay, because I just threw this out at you, all of you. So this is a lot, and I don't usually talk about all this in such a deep way so quickly, but for whatever reason, I feel like I need to bring this up to you. I'm not going to ease my way in. I think you guys can handle it. So
I wanted to add some stuff to that too.
Yes,
Candace.
Jen, go ahead.
As we're connecting in and just in this space of connecting in with our ancestors and our lineage, I feel as though there are many of us being called to really step into this new space, step into this new freedom and this new power of who it is that we are, which also comes with questioning a lot of things that maybe we've grown up with, or these patterns of life that we feel like are here, but are they serving me? Are they not serving me? It's kind of this back and forth energy. And I feel like our ancestors are really helping us to shed the past. So shed information that they have genetically encoded into our system, how it's come from generation to generation. And I see it's time that they really want to help empower us to move forward, but also knowing that we have the freedom to be who we are just because we had a circumstance of how we were raised, what experiences we had. Yes, we hold a lot of sacred space for the experiences that we have in this physical journey, but remembering that when we pass, there's still so much more of us. And so this is an experience of life, and our ancestors want to help us celebrate life versus to feel this heavy innate pressure or this deep disaster, that we're a mess, that we're in this space because we're all going through this revival and this new energy that's coming forward. And this is a blessing. This is like a blessed path. And our ancestors are totally here 100% to jump in. And there's a lot of our ancestors here that want to come forward. And we'll definitely join into this. And I wanted to bring in one person at first. Is that okay, Candace?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Jennifer, I'm so glad you joined, because the second that I saw your name come up, I just had this flood of information and like this high frequency energy connected to you and bringing a lot of insight and a lot of understanding for who you are, what you're going through in your grieving process. There's just so much energy here. And I was going to connect in to somebody else, but I was like sideswiped, and it was like, no, I need to hone in on your energy first. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you feel like extremely called to jump on today? Was it like this innate pull? It's like, I don't know if I want to, but okay, I guess I will.
Yeah, I was kind of, and then I was kind of freaking out for a second because I couldn't find the link. I was like, oh no, where is it? But
well, I'm glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. So I feel like I want to first step in, and I feel like I'm seeing 5 butterflies that are kind of like dancing around in your space and are very connected to you. I'm also connecting in, there's 3 females that are coming forward who are also really divinely guided. Have I done a house cleansing for you? Okay.
yes.
Okay. And that was over the phone. Interesting. Okay. I'm just like there's like 3 different people, like all trying to talk at once. And it just feels like there's a lot of support and like this big loud party on the other side, where it's like big music, big party, big laughter. And so I'm kind to just like slow it down and like move the energy so I can bring in the messages so it doesn't sound so jumbled. So I also want to call on, I feel like on the right side, there is, okay. Okay, so your daughter has passed, correct?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to bring her forward because she has a lot of stuff to talk about of growth and of this new transition of where she's at, but also connecting into that. She has 2 other women. I feel like one is this grandmother energy who's really taken her in and like loved her and like helped been a part of her journey of healing and of growth on the other side. And then I see to the side of her, it almost feels like there's this aunt, like this aunt energy connected into that space as well, or this kind of more of this youthful, I see her being very young, and then I see the grandma energy being more distinguished, but then I see someone in between them who is in between them. Does that make sense with you?
Yes.
Okay. And I see grandma going in and like wanting to braid her hair, your daughter's hair, and like really bring in the space of peace and of love. And I just feel like your daughter has been with you so much lately, especially the past month, January and February. I just see this extra yearning, or like this kind of like this additional ache within. And I see her saying, Mom, I've never left. Mom, I'm still here. And I've never left you, and I never will. And I see her like showing her growing up and like her moving in this like this really cute white dress. And I just see her so full of life. And I see her just wanting to say that she knows how hard it's been, but you've done such a great job at moving forward. And not even moving forward, that's not a great way of saying it, but she's just saying that you've really grown a lot and that she's here to grow with you, and that she's never not going to be your little girl.
Yeah.
And I also see her talking about a blanket again. Do you have a blanket of hers, or have you been carrying one around with you? Is there something there with a blanket? Did she always have blankets?
She loved blankets. She has like one you know, I mean, her little sister also has like a specific blanket, so I don't know if it's, yeah, but
Because I see her wanting to wrap this, like this very, she just wants to wrap this blanket around you and continually hug you and keep you warm. But also, I see her
oh,
giving you permission to hold it yourself as well. And the reason why she's saying that is she's saying that you have so much connection and purpose and drive. And I see her saying that she wants to give you permission for you to feel like you can find joy in life again and not feel guilty for it. And she's like really wanting to say, Mom, you have permission and you're never going to forget her. You've never forgotten her. But even if there are days where you're like, I feel like I can breathe again and I can move again, then it can like kind of sideswipe in with this guilt of like, how can I do that? How can I move forward if she's not here? And I just see her like wanting to hold you in that blanket and just say, Mom, I'm here. I love you. I'll always be here. And then she puts music on and I see her dancing to the music and saying that lately her connection in with you has been dancing. But when you've celebrated and enjoyed life through music is where she feels the most connected to you, of her dancing alongside you. And I also see her making some joke about the laundry room or the laundry or something with that, like laundry detergent. I just see her making some kind of joke about still doing the day-to-day things and it not feeling as tedious or as like, oh, I have to do it again. Like I just see her bringing in this playful excitement and existence of how you view life and her wanting to bring that freshness back into your space. I'm going to unmute you here. It was kind of echoing when I was talking. Does that make sense with you?
yes. Well, it's probably my room. When right before you said that about the blanket, I felt heat on my back.
Oh, I love that.
And just I felt her around me and just, yeah, that was amazing. So she loved dancing. She would do weird dances too. Like that's one of the really good memories I have of her. And I just I like thinking about that time where she was happy and just, you know, fun and just being silly. That's how I remember.
So full of life. And just like how she came forward today, she was like sideswiping, like, you have to talk to my mom. I got to be here. She's got to be here, like really pushing this foot forward. But I just see her wanting to give you that permission that it's okay to enjoy life and to laugh and to find happiness because she lives in that with you. And she's so proud of you for the strength that you have. And also, you can always call on her. You can always ask her to be with you, and she will. She's never going to leave you. She's here to guide you and to be an extra support, but also to be like one of your BFFs. And then she goes like this in that space. And she's also talking about how she loves your hair and what you've done with your hair. And also, the last thing is she's talking about coming to you at night and her wanting to show up to you more through dreams and through visual. So maybe you're driving on the road and you see something that would remind you of her, or you see her in your mind. I see her like really changing the dynamic of how she connects in with you in a much more deep way now that you're kind of in this different phase of grief and of growing. And so I see her just wanting you to know that. And then she says she's still going to send those butterflies. And then I see grandmother come forward and I just see her engulf her and say, we're going to take real good care of her and know that we're celebrating. We have joy. We have a party here on the side and we're celebrating with you. And we want you to really cherish and enjoy what this life has to offer because that's why we're here. And so I just see her really holding that in your space, and they're here to work with you, work with your heart. And open up that space within. And the color purple is everywhere. This royalty, this purple, this space, I just see her really wanting to reiterate that with you and let you know that you're so loved, so loved. And she feels loved on the other side. And then I see her like go like this and like let go of balloons. A symbolism of just finding peace. Does that make sense with you? Do you have any questions about any of that?
No, I was just hoping that she was gonna come through when I signed up for it. So
Yeah, she's been in my space all day, so I'm glad that she came forward, because I feel like it's been a while since you've heard from her or felt a deep connection in that space. So she's always
yeah,
here, always with you.
I think with my grief, it just pushes it down. Like I know she's there, but then it's like just so much, sadness and stuff too,
Yeah,
that
there's
it's hard for me to hear or see the things.
yeah, lots of layers, but music is going to be your best friend and such a great tool for her to be there with you as well.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
Thank
Jennifer.
you.
Yes. Okay, Candace.
That's so beautiful. So, Jen, is there a way to get the cards?
Yeah, let me send it to my email.
So I went ahead and I pulled out a few more cards, and these cards come from the Ascended Master deck from Doreen Virtue. I don't know if you all have heard of her, but she makes these beautiful oracle cards, and you don't have to be an expert card reader to get these and to read from these every day. You can get them and you can shuffle them and pull a card of the day and then read the meaning out of the book if you would like. So I highly recommend them. They're beautiful. I went ahead and pulled 4 cards for us today, and we're doing a 4-card spread reading, and that is what I started out with. It's a past, present, future, and overall spread. And when she puts it up on the screen, you'll see it. And the first deck that I pulled from is the Goddess deck, but it's a traditional tarot. So we've got cards from both decks.
Can you see them?
Don't see them yet. There we go. There's the second row. This is the one from Doreen Virtue, and I already kind of gave you all insight into the first cards. But it was all about, remember we were talking about creating a heaven on earth and the law of attraction and the gifts of manifestation, and knowing that all of these things are possible, and yet currently feeling such these dips, and lows that you have been feeling, and then questioning if you're doing something wrong, if maybe you're missing a step, or if there's some kind of information that you haven't come across, that you haven't been able to really fully create a life yet that is completely fulfilling in every way, or that you may look at your life and say, overall things are going well, but for some reason I'm just feeling this heaviness in my chest, and I can't seem to get past it, or I don't know what this is from. And we talked about this before, that this is part of the expansion that we're all going through collectively at this time. And when we go through these shifts, that we're going to feel sometimes some heavy emotions. You're going to kind of pendulum where it's like sometimes you're feeling so connected to spirit, and then all of a sudden it's just like you'll have days where you just feel so in the world, so human, so heavy. And it's because there are certain things that are being called to be loved and healed right now. Things that have been either locked in the DNA from your ancestors that are coming forth at this time, that have been passed down from generation to generation, that are needing healing and transmuting. Or it could be some of the things that happened in the earlier part of your years that are really being called to be held and felt. Because when we are reconnecting into our heart space, and we're moving into this heart space life, heart-centered life, which is very high frequency. It's the space where we can create a heaven on earth for ourselves. Anything that is being held in that space through trauma or abuse or anything that has happened in our past, it's sometimes what we do is we push those parts away because it's too hard to feel it at the time that it's happening. And when it is being called for healing, it's just calling you to hold space for that energy without trying to push it away or get rid of it or transmute it or pull out all of the different tools that you may have, spiritual tools. And it's really just calling for you to be honest and to just hold space for yourself without like closing away or pushing it away. So what's interesting about that second one, coming out of the closet, what that means is that there are certain things that you have been pushing down for a long time, and it wants to come out and it wants to be revealed. So this is a time to be really honest with yourself, to really sit with what your true feelings are without judging yourself, without shaming yourself, without running away and trying to get away from it or talk yourself out of it. It doesn't want you to do that. It wants you to sit with it, to be with it, to be honest. And what's amazing about emotions is that the way that we clear that energy, really, those heavy emotions, is really just by being with the emotions. If you don't, it follows you around and it will reveal itself in different situations and different people, and basically same situation, different shirts. So for example, if there was a situation where you were around people at work and they all got some food, and then they forgot to ask you if you wanted some, and then you found out that they bought food and they forgot about you, then all of a sudden those feelings of hurt or feelings of not feeling seen come to the surface, or energies where you felt betrayed or you didn't feel seen. And then you're like, okay, obviously I know this mentally, no one did this on purpose and everybody was busy, and it's not that people dislike me. And then later on that day, you come across another situation where somebody doesn't treat you a little bit different than they normally do. And then your feelings are hurt again. And really, it's just the same core feeling. It's just showing up in different situations with a different shirt. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's because that part of you that has been held inside for however long, in this lifetime, many lifetimes it could be held that long, but it's being called for healing right now. It's being called for love. And the only way that you can transmute that feeling is to love yourself and to sit with those energies and to give yourself that which you wish others would be giving to you. And so one of my favorite books is a book by Matt Kahn, and it's called Whatever Arises, Love That. And he is such a wonderful spiritual teacher of how to heal your emotions. And so, and that's what he recommends, is that whenever you have an emotion, instead of getting mad that somebody else is coming short in some way, or someone didn't love you the way that you wanted to be loved, or someone didn't see you, or you felt invisible, or you felt unworthy or not enough, or people were shaming you, or whatever, all the stories that we hold from our history and from our life journey here, instead of waiting for others to love you in the way that you need to be loved, do that for yourself first. Love yourself in the way that you need to be loved first. And then you don't need anybody else to do that for you, because you've already done it for yourself. The other thing is the go now. So in the near future, you can see the third one from the left that says go now, Serapis Bey. He's an ascended master. the meaning of this card means that it is time for not only for you to listen to what your heart is telling you, but it's time to move in that direction. You know, a lot of times in life, we're waiting for the perfect opportunity. When I have all my ducks in a row, when everybody's getting along in my family, when such and such happens, then I'll be ready. When I have this amount of money, then I'll be ready. When when I have this much experience, then I'll know I'm good enough. It's like we make so many excuses to not move towards our dreams. And the reality is that you taking action towards those dreams, those passions, even if it's just one tiny step a day until it gets bigger and bigger, but it's the action that creates the transformative fire that actually changes us, that empowers us, that creates that expansion. You can have that calling in your mind and in your heart, but if you don't take action and actually step in that energy and just do it, then the transformation cannot take place. It is the action that creates the alchemical fire of transformation inside of us. So we can't wait for that. We can't wait for that just to show up. The overall, in the fourth card over to the right, it says retreat in nature. This is the overall card. And what this is saying in this position is that nature is such a powerful healer. The natural world has agreements with humans to assist us in mirroring back to us those parts that are out of balance, those parts that need healing within us. You know, nature will help reveal things to us in our hearts and our minds. And also nature has a way of purifying and cleansing our energy field. So when we're feeling heavy and bogged down, just spending a few minutes outside will not only help you feel refreshed, but it will help you feel clear and more focused about what you need to do, what your next step is. It will help you raise frequency. It will increase your clarity. And it will help transmute some of that heavy dross or that heavy energy that's been spewed out into your field. And I feel like a lot of people that are on this call are extremely psychically sensitive. And so some of the stuff that you guys are feeling, some of this heaviness is not yours. You could be tapping into the collective right now, which is everybody's going through this detox on certain levels. So there's a lot of heavy energy that's being spewed out right now, that's being called for healing, whether it be ancestral work or things that are happening in this current lifetime or whatever. But because of the shifts, there's a lot of heavy energy. And so it's very possible too that not everything that you are thinking, not everything that you are feeling comes from your experience. It could be things that you are picking up in your environment. So I highly suggest a tool that I use if you feel this way. I call it the violet transmuting flame. And what I do is I call upon this violet transmuting flame. I visualize that I am standing in the middle of this flame. And this flame is transmuting all of that heavy energy that is stuck in my field. Anything that is not of love and light, anything that is not mine, it just cleanses it, it just rids of it, and it helps it. You will be so amazed of its immediate effects on the way that you feel. So I highly suggest that you try this. I invite you to invoke the violet transmitting flame when you're feeling overwhelmed or heavy or bogged down, and see if that helps you also kind of release some of that heaviness.
That's awesome. I think that's so beautiful. And there's so much good wisdom and things that we can do and moving forward and, applying it into our space as well. So thank you for that. It's so beautiful. There is just so many ancestors and angels, and even Candace and I were talking about this before we hopped on. We could just feel this deep, huge grounding support, healing our heart center, really focusing on releasing what doesn't serve us, but also filling ourselves with this deep love and this deep appreciation for ourselves, but from our ancestors, from God, from our higher powers, from our angels, all of those things. And I keep being drawn. Wendy, is it okay if I call on you?
Yes.
Okay. Were you feeling that in your heart? Good. I like that. Because I'm like, I can feel instantly drawn to that space. And I feel like when I'm connecting in, I'm drawing into my right side, which to me is connected onto mom's side of the family. But I feel like there is this grandma on mom's side's passed, correct?
Yes.
And I feel like you and her were very good friends. Like, I feel like there was this deep love and this deep connection that she shares with you. And I also feel, is it Dorlin? I also feel like this energy is deeply connected. Are you guys related?
We're friends. We're like been friends for like 30 years.
Okay. I'm like, wait, how do you guys know each other? But I feel like these two, and grandma on mom's side's also passed for you, correct? Darylyn? Okay, because I'm like, they're piggybacking off of each other. So it's like two energies together. But then when I bring in yours, Wendy, it splits. And I was like highlighting to both of your sides. But in the middle of Candace speaking, I had to leave for a moment. And then when I came back in, I have all these candles going and they smell super strong. But when I walked in, I saw this lady, this grandmother energy, and she was like, kind of like dancing in the smell. And it was like this florally, kind of like this old lady, florally musky smell. And I felt like there was this deep connection to that smell, but also to, the flowers, or having the smell where all of a sudden you smell something and it reminds you of that grandmother energy, or you smell something, you're like, this reminds me of the memory. But I feel like she's connecting in with smell for both of you. And this could be for a lot of people who resonate with this. But Wendy, I'm just going to lean in on your space and have this energy come forward. And I just feel like grandma wants you to know how deeply loved that you are, that you don't have to be doing anything else or having a list of accomplishments and not feeling like you're enough, or constantly feeling like you have to live up to a certain expectation. I just see her like going back into when you were like a little child, like sitting on her lap and reading a book or eating a cookie, or that book that has the mouse and the cookie. I'm seeing that, and I'm just seeing this female reading to this little girl and just like loving her for who she was, not because she had to prove herself to anybody or because she had to be doing anything, just because she was enjoying that book and enjoying that space. And so I just see this grandmother really wanting to be with you. And the words that keep coming forward is, you're deeply loved and your prayers are heard and you're not alone. And it's okay if you hold anger at times, or if you feel frustrated within what you believe, or if you feel like you've been abandoned in different ways. I just see her wanting to show you that like they hear your prayers and they hear the frustration at night as well, when you're feeling this heavy emotion or just this deep void. I see them wanting to be with you and like laying on the bed beside you, or like when someone's laying there and all of a sudden they feel this pressure of a hand that's not there. And so I just see her wanting to like tell you and encourage you to keep going, but also to know, kind of like what Candace said, that a lot of the emotions that you feel, or the connection, or this imbalance that you might feel in your body, also has a lot to do with the people around you. And so shielding yourself and being aware of the energy that is coming in when you're around people, to be very conscious and very aware of that. Does that make sense with you?
Yeah, it does.
And at night, do you have a hard time sleeping, or do you kind of feel like restless and it's like, oh, again,
yeah.
putting off sleeping?
Yeah, I wake up in the middle of the night and then I can't go back to sleep.
Have you ever written or journaled when you've woken up at night like that?
No.
Because this is such a sacred time and it is a pain in the butt. Let me tell you, when you're stepping into communicating and bringing in connection and channeling, when we wake up in the middle of the night and we can't go back to bed, if you think about this, if we're constantly go, 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 or we're very worried a lot, or we're not as committed to taking time to connect in spiritually, there are times when we wake up at night because that's when our conscious mind is asleep. It's put aside. So spirit can connect into us a lot more frequently without having a lot of questions. And so I feel like having that in your space and being aware of that, this is such a sacred time of connection. And so maybe having a journal or a pen and a paper and being able to just like wake up and be like, okay, I'm here to write, and just write whatever comes to your mind. I just feel like this could be a very sacred connection of you opening up a lot of spiritual gifts, but you also connecting into your relatives and your ancestors and doing a lot of emotional healing and clearing, but filling. Instead of constantly clearing, it's time to fill, it's time to receive. And you have all of that information within you, but it's giving yourself permission to access it. And sometimes we have that happen to us when we're sleeping because we're not there to question every little thing that we're feeling. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And so I just see, and also when we give that time, when we set that permission there, it also causes us to be able to create boundaries so that when we say, okay, I've done this a couple nights in a row or a couple times this week, I'm going to set time aside in the waking hours and to maybe pull cards or to read scriptures or to journal or to pray or to meditate, and set that time aside so that you don't have to be woken up so much at night because you're setting that time aside before. But there's this call, there's this yearning of like really like falling in love with who you are and the good things that you bring, because oh my gosh, there's so many amazing things that you do and you are and you feel. But it's almost like it's easy to give and give and give to everybody else and not give yourself permission to receive. And this is the time in life when, in order to receive, in order for your body to feel healthy, for you not to feel sick or to feel like your body is shutting down at times, this is the time to receive and to reflect and to fill your energy so that you can be fully alert and also experience life and have fun in it. It's time to celebrate and to dance and to fill yourself with love. Nothing you need to do, just who you are. What do you have to say, Candace?
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna burst.
She's like this. She's like, oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, I gotta say this. So Wendy, so this is what also came through for me is that because of the heartache and the things that you have experienced, it's very overwhelming. But not all is lost. Spirit wants you to start noticing where the love is in your life right now. There are people in your life who love you dearly. And you have an opportunity to open yourself up to such abundance and prosperity. There is an opening that is here for you, that is ready for you. You just need to walk through that space. And the way that you do it is gratitude. That is the fastest way to open up that portal, to open up a new life for yourself. And one of the things that Spirit is also telling me is that not only is it important for you to journal and recognize how gifted you are, because you're so tremendously spiritually gifted, and you don't make the space for that, for you to work on it. But they also want you to take the time to dream again, because your heart's been so broken. It's like this part of you that had the hope that you could create this amazing life for yourself. It's almost like it's shut down. for a period of time, and you haven't given yourself permission to really connect in with your dreams, to really say, what is it that I want? What is it that I want to create for myself? It is possible for you. I want you to know this. Like, this is possible for you, that the door is like right here. Like, I can feel it. I've got chills all over my body. But the way that you move into that space is to open your eyes into the recognition of the fact that, first of all, you are so flippin' loved. Like, right, Darylyn, I think you know, like, you are so loved by so many people. So even though that you've experienced great loss, like, there's people around that wouldn't know what to do without you, Wendy.
Mm-hmm.
They would not know what to do. And it's time for you to take that in, for you to feel that. So that way you can feel that gratitude of like, gosh, I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so loved. I'm gifted. I've got what it takes to create my dreams. I can live an amazing life. And I better pay attention, because it's going to be over before I know it. Right? Time is going to move really fast. This is the time that we live in with this expansion too. That's included, is that time is going to speed up. Time is moving faster for all of us. So pay attention, my love, and hold on tight, because it's time for you to get to work. Okay?
Okay.
And also
Right.
in that space, finding heart-shaped rocks, heart-shaped anything is a big thing. It's a big, big, big thing too, of you knowing and you being supported and you being reminded of the divine essence within you and that beauty and that wonder of heartfelt living. So you might find heart rocks places, or maybe you'll look at a leaf and it's like a perfect heart shape. But that's definitely coming into your space as well.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Wendy.
You're welcome. Jen, I think we better get to questions, because it is already 8 o'clock. So we have like 30 minutes.
Okay. We can definitely do that. I wanted to lean in also into Megan's space real quick. Is that all right? Are you both okay if I call on you for a moment? Okay. I just had, at the beginning of the session, I always write my bubbles out, my square, and I have different ones highlighted that I need to really call on first. And yours at the beginning was highlighted as well. So I feel like we need to call that in. But it's interesting because I feel standing in between both of you as there's this really tall male figure. And I see him come forward, but then I see him like flexing his muscles and being very charismatic and very just like full of life and full of love. Does that make sense with you?
I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe. I was so young when he passed.
I got to sit with this for a minute, because he's standing the whole time. He's been standing in between both of you. But I feel like it's connected into your dad's side of the family.
My dad's side?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let me sit with this. Okay. I gotta sit with this. Actually. Okay, who is sitting next to you? What's your name? What's your name?
Eric.
Eric. I feel like it's connected into your space. Onto your dad's side of the family. Did you have a cousin that passed?
You have a few cousins who passed, didn't you?
Yeah.
One that was pretty, I feel like his passing could have been a little bit more sudden, a lot more unexpected. Does that make sense with you?
You had a sudden uncle.
Uncle. Father.
Father was very sudden.
Grandfather.
So there's a lot of men on your side.
But Not a cousin.
Not a cousin, huh?
Not a cousin.
I don't know your
No.
cousin, so
No, I
can't
think
help.
all my male cousins are still.
Okay, let me lean into this because I just feel like there's such a youthful energy that I'm like, I feel like it's got to be a younger, like this younger energy, because just so youthful and like coming in, like flexing his muscles, kind of just like showing this really confident space within.
Huh.
But it's connected into you, Eric. It is, and there's
a lot of.
a big personality, very playful. So you said your father passed?
Yeah.
And was he a pretty, okay, let me sit with this. When I connect and he just gets taller. So I'm like, okay, what are you trying to share with me or talk to me about? So let me sit with this for a moment.
I have
feel
some
like-
messages for Megan too. So if you want more space, Jen, to sit
Yeah,
with her.
yeah, you do that. That's great.
Okay, awesome. So I pulled some cards for you. And yes. So first of all, what I'm getting is that, first of all, Spirit wants to acknowledge the courage that it's taken for you to share your gifts with the world. So you're in a position where you are the kind of individual that inspires people to live a passionate life, to put your art out there, to express yourself. And it takes a lot of courage to do that, to believe in yourself, to have the fire, the determination, the discipline, all the things that come with that, to put yourself out there. And so Spirit just wants to congratulate you for how far you've come, because you're not at the beginning stages of this. You've been working on this for a while. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay, awesome. So they, like the middle card, they have the 6 of Staves, and it's like they've got this huge parade, and you've got the wreath of flowers around you, and people are like throwing flowers out towards you because of all the achievements and the things that you've done. So it just represents that Spirit just wants to take a moment to congratulate you for being brave and for putting yourself out there, and to keep going, because it's not even so much what you're doing, it's the fact that you're just doing it that matters. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that is what inspires people. It's not even really if it's successful or not. It's the fact that you're willing to do it, that you're willing to work hard, that you're willing to put yourself out there, because a lot of people don't have that courage. It's like they have these dreams, like I was talking about earlier. They know what they want in their heart to really do, how they want to make their passion a career, or they want to put themselves out there, but they're so afraid, or they think, oh, maybe when I do this, then I'll finally be good enough to do it. Or if I do that, then finally, or I'm waiting for a sign or approval or whatever. And it's like, if you wait for that, you'll be waiting for the rest of your life. That is not the way this works. Because it's the actual jumping in that creates the empowerment, the transformation, the growth, the expansion. You just have to learn as you go. You can't be waiting for yourself to always reach this level of perfection before you move forward, right?
Right.
So it's that is the inspiration, because they're like, okay, if she can do it and she can be brave, then maybe I should do it. Maybe I should be brave. And they see the light that comes from you and the glow, and they're like, oh my gosh, I want to have that. I want to be able to feel that way. I want to feel passionate about what I'm doing in my life and live my life to the fullest. I mean, that's what we all desire in our hearts. So that's what Spirit really wants you to know, is that they're giving you kudos, girl. They're just like, look, you did what you came here to do.
It's like
it's
the
not,
song.
Yeah, it's
Celebrate
not the thing. Celebrate. It's not about the thing. It's the fact that your spirit, your soul mission in this lifetime is to inspire. That is your soul mission.
That is so cool. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
So anyway, good job.
Yeah, I love it. It's so perfect. That's beautiful. Okay, Eric, I'm going to just jump in and talk my throat is closing up now that I'm going to jump in. I feel like there could be some block in the throat or having a hard time speaking truth, or just this heavy, and like my throat's getting all red. There's this connection here to this male figure. But I feel like the thing that I'm going to just lean into this more so it will subside. But I feel like, okay, so there's a couple of things. Is I'm seeing you, and then I see this father behind you, and then I see a grandfather, and then I see a great grandfather. So I see this lineage of 4 generations back as I'm speaking, with you as the head, you as the front. And as I'm leaning down the line, it looks like there's a lot of this information that comes forward that's about holding responsibility and loyalty and doing a good job, and a job well done. Like, work hard to make things happen, be as loyal as you can, and just like hit the pave running and just go work until you can't work anymore. And then you're done working. Is I feel like there's this energy of work. And it's almost like I see you coming in, and even as a child, you being a lot more goofy, a lot more playful, you experiencing things through your body so much charismatic, working out, moving your body, honoring that movement within you is such a great space of meditation. But I see within them is I see this playful energy. I feel like this father figure is really wanting to come in and to take a lot of responsibility for the serious, kind of like the serious boxes that were placed upon you at a young age of how life needed to go versus how you felt like you were drawn to. Like, it's almost like sometimes we're taught we need to do it this way, when our spirit and our heart's like, oh, but I want to try it this way. Kind of like you looking outside of the box and not being as traditional in a lot of ways. And so I feel like there's this energy of wanting to bring this into your space of trusting who you are, but also remembering that playfulness within is so key in you enjoying life and you being successful and finding fulfillment is through that playful jokester, moving your body, going out and doing things that are connected into your body as such a way of meditation. And it might be hard sometimes to just sit still, but it's like when we can sit and be still, sometimes it's hard to it's like easy to want to move and to have a hard time sitting still. And I just see them wanting to bless your path and give you permission to live life how you want to, and to live outside the box, to have a lot of different side things going on, and to know that you're supported in what you want to do and your follow through can happen. And they're here to help bring things into your space where you can create and you can flow and you can have a lot of impact, but also know that spirit can help guide you so you don't feel like you have to do everything. And inviting people into your circle, bringing people into your space, and also your team on the other side is saying, hey, I want to have this kind of money come forward. I want to create it this way. Please help me find the right people that I can work with. And really kind of connecting into spirit, because it feels like there's a lot of energy of moving in the ground, like pavement, making things happen in the ground, in reality, in the world. But it's like they want to help remind you that you have this divine connection in which you can play and you can have things flow a lot easier and more effortlessly when you're connected above and below, which I'm seeing the number 3, which is as above, so below. It's connecting in heaven, the bridge of higher source, heaven into the heart center, and then manifesting it into the world. And so I see them wanting you to know that they're here to play in the world with you. And they want to give you permission to play it the way that you want to play it. But also your body, moving your body is the greatest form of meditation. Does that make sense with you?
It does.
Do you have any questions about that?
I don't think so.
Okay. Candace, what do you got there?
Yes, I'm just going to piggyback onto you, Jen. Okay, so Eric, right? Is that
Yes.
you said your name is Eric? So there's a couple of things that are standing out when I pull the cards for you. And one is that there are 2 soul contracts that you're really working on in this lifetime, 2 things that you really, really wanted to focus in on. And one was creating balance between heaven and earth. Because like what Jen said, what I'm picking up on too, and what card I picked up on, this is the sign of someone who overworks. Okay. This is someone who doesn't balance the time for rest, the time for your spiritual self. So this is a life lesson that you came to master this time, Eric. So you need to get it down, right? We need to practice this. But you are a multidimensional being. You are physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. So anytime, just like 4 legs of a table, right? When we don't give enough energy or attention to our emotional self, then it's just like those 4 legs. That one leg is too short, and all of a sudden, you can't hold life's bounty. It just slides right off, right? It just slides right off the table. When we don't take care of our mental health, when we don't take care of our physical bodies, those legs become unstable. So when life is bringing bounty to you, when life is bringing opportunities to you, you aren't able to hold it. You aren't able to keep it there because of this imbalance and these different parts of yourself. So in this life, what you came to learn was to balance that, to say, you know what? I'm not just a physical body. I'm not my body. I'm not my emotions. I'm not my mind. I'm the observer, the spirit, riding in this vehicle, this human vehicle of a physical, emotional, and mental body. But at the same time, because I'm here to be human, I can't neglect those areas of this life. Otherwise, it will create that imbalance. And then I won't be able to hold the bounty that I'm being given, that I'm so blessed with in this life. Because let me tell you, you are a magnet for abundance. Okay. You are a master manifester. This is something that you are gifted with, which was another card that showed up. It was the star. Literally, the sky's the limit for you. If you're very clear about what you want and you put in the work, you can achieve whatever that is. You are a gifted manifester. Okay. It really doesn't take as much effort energetically, mentally, spiritually for you to bring things to you, because you just naturally draw those things to you. But you won't be able to maintain it or hold on to it if you don't maintain balance. Make sense?
Yeah.
I have
Okay.
one more thing. What is the connection to the throat with your dad? Is there a connection there? Because my throat is like on fire. What is that? I have to acknowledge that.
He died of a heart attack, more than likely related to an asthma attack.
Okay. Because I'm feeling all this tension and my neck is like literally on fire.
That's actually one of the few things I remember about my father.
He was 5 when he passed.
Okay. We need to acknowledge that. And also, I just feel like the last thing I want to bring in with him is him letting you know that he's never left you and he's proud of you. And you are such a loyal and honest person. And he says that you're being the dad that he couldn't be. And he's so proud to watch you step into that space and that you can call on him for help and for assistance. And he's not bound by what he was dealing with or what he experienced. He's in the space of complete love and trust. And as I say this, like all of a sudden I feel this cooling of my throat and it's like not hot anymore. I was like, I got to acknowledge it's so heavy. It's so hot right now. But you can call on him at any time. He's here to be a part of your experience. Even if you haven't physically known him long, the contracts and that connection are very deep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for listening to this group reading. We hope that it was inspiring and that you could take something and apply it for yourself. We will be holding these group readings on the 3rd Thursday of every month. So if you feel like you want to join in on a live group reading with us, So if you're really feeling called to joining in with us, we would love to have you for our next group reading as well.
Thank you for watching Modern Sages. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
We are so grateful for your support. If you want to follow us, we have an Instagram account as well as on Facebook. We have our podcast, which is the Modern Sages podcast as well.
And we are so excited to launch our Gifts of Spirit classes in our Modern Sages Mystery School.
Absolutely. Oh, we're so excited. So we're going to link the information below in the show notes for more information about our mystery school.